Welcome! In this lesson, you are going to learn how computers can recognize handwritten numbers with deep learning. Handwritten digit recognition with neural networks. In this beginner-friendly lesson, you will learn to recognize handwritten digits using Python and deep learning. We will use the famous MNIST dataset of digit images. You will explore how neural networks can convert images into predictions. This skill is important for computer vision and modern AI applications. By the end, you will be able to build, train, and test a simple neural network model. Running the cell now. Let us get started with the basics and set up our code. First, we silence warnings so that your notebook output stays clear and simple. #suppress warnings for a clean output. We turn off warning messages that could distract us while we learn. Import numpy as np. We set the random seed to 42 for reproducibility. Running the cell now. This code sets the stage for our digit recognition task by ensuring reproducibility with a fixed random seed and keeping the output clean by suppressing warnings. Although it produces no visible output, these steps are crucial for consistent training results and a smooth coding experience in neural network development. Now, the code will run without extra warning texts, making results easier to read. Now, let us get to know our data. What is the MNIST dataset? The MNIST dataset is a large set of handwritten digits. It contains 70,000 images of numbers from 0 to 9. Each image is 28 by 28 pixels and comes with the actual digit as a label. Data scientists use MNIST to test computer vision and neural network models easily. Running the cell now. Next, let us load this classic dataset in Python. We will now load the MNIST handwritten digit dataset using Keras, a deep learning library. You do not need to download any files manually. Python will handle it. #data setup. We import the MNIST dataset loader from Keras. We load training and test images and labels. We print the shape of the training data and labels. We print the shape of the test data and labels. Running the cell now. This output shows the shape of the MNIST dataset after loading 60,000 training images and 10,000 test images, each 28 by 28 pixels. The labels arrays confirm there are matching digit labels for every image. This verifies the data is correctly structured for training and evaluating models on handwritten digits. There are 60,000 images for training and 10,000 for testing. Each label is the actual digit for its image. It is helpful to look at an example image. Let us preview an image and its label. We import matplotlib to show images. We plot the first image in the training set as a picture. We set the title to the label value, so you can see which number it is. We hide the axis lines for a cleaner look. We display the image. Running the cell now. This output shows the first image from the MNIST training set, displayed as a 28 by 28 grayscale image of a handwritten digit. Notice the clear visualization of the digit along with its label in the title, which helps confirm that the data and labels are correctly aligned. This preview step is essential for understanding what kind of input the model will process during training. You should see a small gray digit. This is what our neural network will learn to recognize. Let us understand why neural networks are powerful for this type of problem. Why do we need neural networks? Traditional computer programs cannot easily tell digits apart from pixels. Neural networks learn from the raw image data and improve with practice. They are inspired by how human brains process patterns in vision. Running the cell now. This is what makes deep learning such a key tool in modern AI. Neural networks work better when the input values are between 0 and 1. We do this by dividing all pixel values by 255, the highest possible value for a pixel. #data normalization for better learning. We scale each pixel to a number between 0 and 1 so that learning is smoother. We repeat the process for both the training and test images. Running the cell now. Here we normalize the pixel values of our training and test images, scaling them from 0 to 255 down to 0 to 1. This step is crucial because it helps the neural network learn more efficiently by ensuring consistent input ranges, which improves convergence during training. Notice how no visible output appears. This pre-processing quietly prepares the data for the model to better recognize digit patterns. Now, the data is prepared for deep learning. Neural networks often expect input as a row of numbers, not an image grid. We will flatten each image from a square, 28 by 28, into a straight row of 784 numbers. Flatten the 28 by 28 images into 1D vectors. We change each image from 2 dimensions into a single long vector. We do this for both training and test sets. Running the cell now. This code reshapes each 28 by 28 pixel image into a long 1D vector of 784 values, preparing the raw image data for the neural network. Notice how this flattening converts the 2D grid into a format that a basic neural network can process as a list of input features. This step is key because traditional programs struggle with pixel grids, whereas neural networks learn patterns directly from these vectorized inputs. This makes the images ready for our simple neural network. Let us check if our data now has the expected flat shapes. Let us confirm the new shape. We print the shape. It should show number of images by 784 pixels. We do the same for the test images. Running the cell now. Here, the printed output shows that the training and test image data have been reshaped into 2D arrays where each image is flattened into a 784 pixel vector, 28 by 28. This transformation is essential because neural networks require input in a consistent, flat format to learn patterns from raw pixel values. By confirming these shapes, we ensure the data is ready for training the network to recognize digits directly from pixel intensities. Perfect! Now, each row is one digit image in flat form. Before building, let us break down what a neural network is. What is a neural network? A neural network is a set of connected layers where each layer transforms the input data. It learns patterns by adjusting weights using data and feedback. In this lesson, we will use a simple neural network with a few layers. Running the cell now. Neural networks can learn to recognize images without being programmed with rules. Let us build a neural network using Keras. We use a sequential model, which means layers are stacked one after another. We start by adding a comment explaining that we will build a simple neural network model. We import the sequential class from tensorflow.keras.models, which lets us create a linear stack of layers. We import the dense layer class from tensorflow.keras.layers, which creates fully connected neural network layers. We create a sequential model by passing a list of layers that defines the network structure. The first layer has 128 neurons, uses the ReLU activation function, and expects input vectors of size 784. The second layer has 64 neurons and also uses the ReLU activation function to add nonlinearity. The last layer has 10 neurons, one per class, and uses softmax to output probabilities over the classes. We call model.summary to print a summary showing the layers and number of parameters in the model. Running the cell now. This model summary shows the structure of our simple neural network, 3 dense layers with output shapes of 128, 64, and 10 neurons respectively. Notice how the number of parameters decreases in later layers, reflecting fewer connections, which is key for learning efficient representations. This output helps us understand the model's complexity and confirms that it's set up to classify inputs into 10 categories, matching our intended design. You can see each layer, its shape, and number of parameters to learn. This is your model blueprint. Before training, we need to tell the model how to learn. Loss is a measure of prediction error. We use sparse categorical cross-entropy for multi-class numbers. Adam is a smart optimizer that helps learning. Accuracy tells us the percent the model gets right. Compile the model with loss, optimizer, and metrics. We start the command to compile the model. We specify the loss function used to measure prediction error. We specify the optimizer to update model weights and metrics to track. Running the cell now. This code sets up the neural network for training by specifying the loss function, optimizer, and evaluation metric. Notice there is no immediate output because compiling prepares the model for learning without producing results yet. This step is crucial as it defines how the model will measure errors, update weights, and track performance during training. Now, the model is ready for training. Training means showing the model real examples so it can update itself and improve. Here, we will train for 5 rounds, called epochs, and keep 10% of the training data for checking progress. Batch size means the model looks at 32 images at a time before updating. We start the training process of the neural network model. We train the model using our training images and labels for 5 epochs, with a batch size of 32, and reserve 10% of the training data for validation. Running the cell now. This output shows the training progress of our simple neural network over the first epoch out of 5. Notice how the accuracy starts very low, around 9%, but steadily increases to about 68% as the model learns patterns from the input data, while the loss decreases, indicating improved prediction. This demonstrates the core idea of neural networks adjusting their weights layer by layer to improve performance on the training data. You will see the loss and accuracy improving with each round. The neural network is learning to recognize digits. It is useful to see a graph of how well the model learns over each round. We add a comment describing what this code block does. We import Matplotlib's pyplot module for creating plots. We plot the training accuracy stored in the history object. We plot the validation accuracy stored in the history object. We label the x-axis as epoch to indicate the training rounds. We label the y-axis as accuracy to indicate the model's performance. We add a title to the plot that summarizes the chart's purpose. We add a legend so we can distinguish between training and validation lines. We display the plot so that it appears on screen. Running the cell now. This plot shows how the model's accuracy improves over each epoch during training, with blue and orange lines representing training and validation accuracy, respectively. Notice that both accuracies generally increase, indicating the neural network is learning patterns from the data. Monitoring these trends helps ensure the model is not overfitting and is generalizing well to new data, which is essential in understanding how neural networks learn. A rising accuracy line means your model improves. If the validation and training accuracy are close, your model is learning in a balanced way. To see how your model works on new, unseen images, we use the test set. This measures the real-world skill of the model, not just its memory. Evaluate on test data to check real-world performance. We measure loss and accuracy on all test images and labels. We print the test accuracy in %. Running the cell now. The output shows the model's performance on the test dataset, with accuracy steadily improving and stabilizing around 97 to 98%, indicating effective generalization. This confirms that our simple neural network has successfully learned useful patterns from the training data and applies them well to new, unseen inputs, demonstrating the core idea of neural networks learning through data transformation and feedback. High test accuracy means the model is great at recognizing new handwritten digits. Let us try the model on a random test image to see its prediction in action. Comment describing the purpose of the code block. Import the NumPy library for numerical operations. Select a random index from the test dataset. Get the flattened image data at the selected index. Get the true label for the selected image. Use the model to predict the digit from the reshaped image. Find the digit with the highest predicted probability. Display the original image using a grayscale color map. Set the title of the plot showing predicted and true labels. Turn off the axis labels and ticks for the plot. Display the image plot. Running the cell now. This output shows the model predicting a digit from a single test image, indicated by the quick 1-for-1 prediction step. Notice the displayed image alongside the predicted and true labels, illustrating how the neural network transforms pixel data into a digit classification. This highlights the core idea that the network learns to map inputs to outputs through its layers. Most times, your model should guess the correct digit. This is deep learning in action. To understand exactly where the model does well or gets confused, let us print a detailed report. We make predictions on the entire test dataset at once. We compute the model's predicted probabilities for each test sample. We convert the predicted probabilities into predicted class labels by choosing the class with the highest probability. We import functions to evaluate classification performance from scikit-learn. We print a detailed classification report showing precision, recall, and F1 score for each class. Running the cell now. This classification report shows the neural network's performance on the test set, with each digit class having high precision and recall around 97 to 99%, indicating accurate and consistent predictions across all categories. Notice the balanced support counts, which reflect the number of samples per class, helping us trust that the model is robust and not biased toward any specific digit. This confirms that even a simple neural network with a few layers can effectively learn and generalize patterns to correctly classify handwritten digits. Notice which digits have the highest precision and recall. This gives you clues on where to improve future models. A confusion matrix helps us see which digits are easy or hard for the model. We add a comment describing that we will show a confusion matrix of real vs predicted digits. We import the Seaborn library, which helps to create attractive statistical graphics. We compute the confusion matrix comparing true test labels with our predicted labels. We start a new plot with a specific figure size to make it clear and readable. We draw the confusion matrix as a heat map with numbers inside each cell and a blue color gradient. We label the x-axis as a predicted digit to indicate the predicted classifications. We label the y-axis as true digit to indicate the actual labels. We set the plot title to confusion matrix to explain what the chart shows. We display the plot on the screen. Running the cell now. This confusion matrix compares the true digit labels to the neural network's predictions, showing how often each digit was correctly or incorrectly classified. Notice the darker diagonal cells representing correct predictions, indicating the model's accuracy for each digit. This visualization helps us understand the neural network's performance by highlighting which digits it predicts well and where it struggles. Ideally, most values are on the diagonal, showing perfect predictions. Off-diagonal squares mean mistakes. Let us celebrate what you have learned so far. Recap: what have you achieved? You loaded and explored a real-world image dataset. You built and trained a working neural network from scratch. You evaluated its skill at reading handwritten numbers. You visualized where it succeeds and where it makes mistakes. You are now ready to explore deeper networks or new datasets. Running the cell now. These are essential steps for any deep learning project in practice. Let us try a quick experiment together. You can choose to either train your model with only half the training data, or train for more rounds. Type 1 for the first option, or 2 for the second one when prompted. This is a project challenge encouraging you to try fewer data or more epochs. We ask the user to type 1 to use half the training data or 2 to train longer for 10 epochs. If the user types a 1, we will proceed using half the training data. We inform the user that training will happen with half the data. We select the first 30,000 samples of the training data as the subset for training. We select the corresponding first 30,000 labels for the subset. We train the model on the subset for 5 epochs with a batch size of 32 and use 10% of data for validation. If the user types 2, we will train for more epochs. We inform the user that training will occur for 10 epochs on the full data set. we train the model on the full training data for 10 epochs with batch size 32 and 10% validation split. If the input was anything else, we tell the user to enter 1 or 2 and rerun. Running the cell now. Here, the code shows training the neural network on half the data for 5 epochs, which reduces the training set size and speeds up the process. Notice the accuracy steadily improves each batch, reaching over 99%, demonstrating that even with less data, the model learns effectively. This connects to our lesson on balancing dataset size and training time while still achieving good performance in digit recognition. Try both options by rerunning the cell with different choices. Notice how model performance changes. After this lesson, you can keep exploring on your own. Next steps and extra ideas. Experiment with deeper or wider networks to see if accuracy improves. Try using image data directly without flattening by adding conv2D layers for more advanced learning. Make a website or app where users upload their own digit drawings for instant recognition. Share your cool results with friends. Did your accuracy change with different options? Running the cell now. Keep learning and building. You can even post your work and tag us, maybe we will feature it on YouTube. Congratulations! You have finished your first deep learning project. Thank you for learning with us. If you enjoyed this lesson, subscribe for more beginner-friendly tutorials. Like, comment, and share if you want more deep learning demos. You are now confident with neural networks for digit recognition. Running the cell now. See you in the next lesson.